unboxing Zephyrus G14 is such an interesting experience here. They're presented so nicely. So as soon as you open the box, it pops right out at you. And then there you go. The laptop's right there. But there's so much wasted space in this box. It's so weird. Like, the presentation was nice, but you wasted so much cardboard, so much space here. You could have definitely made the box a little smaller, but I'm not gonna argue. Presentation was nice. You got that charger, you got that brick, some paperwork. Otherwise, that's it. This is the Zephyrus G14 review. Let's talk about it. So yeah, I've owned the Zephyrus G14 for well over a month now. Let me throw some specs at you so you know which model I'm talking about here. We got the AMD Ryzen 9 5900HS in here, GTX or RTX 3060 graphics card in here by NVIDIA. We also got 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of SSD storage, and a 14-inch Full HD IPS display with 144 Hz. Now, I am not 100% sure what to tell you about the review as far as a laptop here. I'm going to try my best here, so keep that in mind. It's my first ever laptop that I've ever purchased that's not a Chromebook or some cheap laptop that I got. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to give you guys the best review that I can make. Yeah, let's get right into this. So starting out with design, this is a beautiful laptop in my opinion. It's got a nice white touch to it on the outside. It's matte. It's got some like dotted vented side to it on the back here. And it doesn't scream gaming to me. It's supposed to be a gaming laptop, but it doesn't say, hi, I'm a gaming laptop. Besides that Aurora colored ROG sign or a little logo there, but otherwise it's a very clean design. It's got vents on the bottom, vents on the sides, vents on the tops. Helps keep the computer as cool as possible because this does get pretty hot. You got a nice display on top, 14 inches, pretty clean. The chin is a little bit big, but I'm sure it's big for a reason. Stickers are kind of annoying, but I'm gonna keep them there for now. Wish they were aligned though. Yeah, but keyboard, absolutely amazing. I love this keyboard. It's small because it's a small laptop, so no number pads, so no extra stuff, no fuss. Keep it simple, clean. The click is nice, the travel is nice. It's a nice keyboard, and you got a lot of functionality going on here. With those function keys, you're able to do a lot more than just the typical function stuff. So you can customize, or not customize, but adjust the brightness of the display, adjust the brightness of the keyboard backlighting, and other stuff like quickly taking a snip or a screenshot of the screen or whatnot, and also able to open up the Aurora settings, which is just how you customize the backlighting of the laptop. You also have a quick toggle for the Armory crate, which is where you're able to customize and really go in depth of changing settings for the performance of your laptop. Really, I don't go in depth when customizing with this. All I did was just make sure it's always on performance mode. Yeah, that's really all I did. You can check the thermals, check the settings, like check the hertz that stuff is running. I'm not going to go in that. It's there for you guys if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, otherwise you got toggles for volume, toggles for muting your mic real quick, and then you also have that power button that also is a fingerprint sensor, which is really nice. So that means that with Windows Hello, using your fingerprint gets you right into Windows quick and easy, which is nice. You also have some really nice speakers on here. They're not crazy loud, but they sound full. They sound youthful. They just sound like they have some oomph to it, So they got some nice bass. They're clear. They're decently sounding, but again, not crazy loud, but they sound nice in my opinion. Only complaint I have about that is that if you accidentally cover it on the top, it's a little small section that's on the top, but if you accidentally put your palm on it, you do cover a little bit, not crazy noticeable, but occasionally I hear myself or feel myself covering it, and then when I take my palm off, you can hear a little bit of a difference, but otherwise not too bad. The trackpad though is a little small for my liking, but it's a small laptop, so what did I expect? But otherwise, it's pretty responsive. It's nice and clicky. With it being small, I accidentally do press the left instead of the right, or right instead of the left, which again is just because it's a little small, but otherwise, no big deal. Ports on here are very nice. At least I think they are. You get a decent amount of selection here. You got the HDMI on the left, along with the proprietary charger, which I believe is 180 watts of charging. You also have USB-C with power delivery available to it, which means you can charge up to 100 watts, I believe, and also connect to an external monitor if you'd like. You also have that beloved headphone jack there. It's back. It's here. And then on the right-hand side, 2 USB-A ports, and then another USB-C. Now this one's just USB-C for transferring files. Nothing crazy here. It's just simple for USB-C files. Pretty quick on transferring those files. No external monitors, no charging. Overall, the chassis, the whole hardware here, I like it. It's nothing crazy. One of the things some things that are missing that I wish it would have includes the SD card support. I can simply just get a dongle, but it would be nice to have it included. No camera. That's a big one for maybe a lot of people. There's definitely an issue there, but not a concern to me just because I'm not going to be using the camera. So if you're going to be using this for school and you need to have a camera, or for work and you need to have a camera, yeah, definitely either consider something else or look into an external camera. Either way, you can make it work. But yeah, no built-in camera, which could be bad for some people, like I said. And another nice feature, when you open up the laptop, if you're on a flat surface, you'll definitely notice it more. So when you open it up, the keyboard goes at an angle, which makes it even more comfortable when you're typing. It makes it nice so it's not flat. It's a really cool addition feature there. But yeah, otherwise, nice. It's very nice. I think overall it's a nice package. It's not super heavy either, so it's a good size for portability. But otherwise, that's the design, that's the hardware. Let's talk about how this performs. So when it comes to performance, in the day-to-day usage, there's two modes, I guess you could almost talk about. There's when you're on the battery, and then when you're just plugged in. So when you're plugged in, you're going to get the best performance. When you're on the battery, you're kind of handicapped on the performance as far as CPU and GPU. Let me explain real quick. These are the bench scores of when it's plugged in versus when it's on the battery. Now, I don't usually like to talk about bench scores, but I feel like this is the best way to show how there is a difference, because you can look at the number difference, how there is a little bit of a difference there. So yeah, first I'm going to talk about when it's on the battery, and then I'll talk about when it's plugged in. So there's three ways that I use my laptop. One is just simple tasks, web-based stuff, Word documents and Zoom, school, kind of stuff like that, and then video editing, and then gaming. So first, let's talk about when it's on the battery. As far as those web-based stuff, Zoom, school stuff, it's all going to handle it like a charm, really. You kind of expect it to because of the performance or kind of like the specs that it has. So yeah, no issue there. It all works just fine. Only thing I guess you could say you might notice is the refresh rate. So if you have the refresh rate set to power saving mode, I guess you could say, power saving panel, I think is what it's called. It will set it down to like, I think 30, maybe even 60. I'm not entirely sure what the actual FPS is or hertz that it's set at, but it is not as smooth. So that's one thing to note there. But yeah, otherwise, web-based stuff, the simple stuff, all works just fine. Word documents, everything else, it just works perfect. Video editing though is where you do see a bit of a difference. Definitely doable. Video editing is definitely doable. It works just fine. So I'll explain how I video edit. So I use DaVinci Resolve, and then I film my videos in 4K, and then I put my videos on a 1080 timeline, just because it makes it easier when you're scrubbing across, chopping and editing, cutting stuff. I do it on my computer here, so I'm just going to do it on my laptop. It's much easier, much safer, faster, I guess you could say. And then once I'm done editing, I'll export it to a 4K video. But yeah, it's pretty good for the most part. Occasionally you get the hiccups. I wouldn't say it's not a rare occurrence. It'll definitely happen here and there. And there's also moments where it's taken a second to load and what's happening. So like if you're cutting stuff and then moving stuff to your timeline, there will be times where it is just taking a second to load and process, which can be scary because I'm like, no, please don't crash. And it hasn't crashed yet, so we're good so far. And then rendering times or exporting times, it just depends on the length of the video. Again, I am exporting in 4K, so it does take a little longer than usual. Usually it takes about the length of the video and plus a couple more minutes. So if the video is 10 minutes long, it'll take roughly 12 to 14 minutes. But yeah, video editing, pretty much good. You shouldn't have an issue. The screen size is the only thing I guess you consider that's a bit of an issue, but you can use an external monitor if you'd like, so you can definitely connect to an external monitor. But I think it does hit a little bit more on that performance. So if you plug it into an external monitor, more hiccups and delays occasionally here and there, but otherwise definitely doable just on the battery. As far as gaming though, this is where I think you notice the most difference when you're plugged in and when you're not plugged in. And that's because of the refresh rate. So the refresh rate, for some reason, I don't know if there's something I can change in the settings, but it's always capped at 30 FPS. No matter which game I played, it'll always be at 30 FPS. And I played games, simple games like Minecraft. I played Fortnite. I played Battlefield 4, and then GTA 5 and FIFA 21. And all of those were capped at 30 FPS. I could set the settings up to high, ultra, whatever, the highest graphic settings I could set, and it would still run at 30 FPS. I could set it as low as I wanted to, and it was still running at 30 FPS. Now, again, it might be something in the settings I can change. I'm not entirely sure, but my guess is just capping it at 30 FPS so that it doesn't kill, so you don't use the maximum performance there. But overall, it's still, again, playable. You can definitely still game. Only big thing that I noticed that besides the refresh rate is there's occasional tearing going on the screen. I don't know if that's something off the CPU or the GPU, or if it's the screen that's causing the issue, but I noticed it. And I mainly only noticed it when I'm playing a game that doesn't have a lot going on. So like in Battlefield, I didn't notice it as much, if at all. But FIFA is where I noticed it the most, just because there's not a lot going on the screen. It's just a bunch of figures passing the ball. So like there's not a lot intense stuff going on. So I definitely noticed it there, and it was very annoying sometimes because it would I don't know, it just looked weird. But yeah, that's one of the things I noticed as far as the negatives, as far as gaming on the battery. Now we talk about the battery life here while we're here on performance and the day-to-day usage. Battery life sucks. Now I don't know if it's just my unit or if it's maybe it's good for a laptop of this, like when you're doing stuff like this. But for me, I think it sucks. So if you're web browsing, just doing simple stuff, you're gonna get maybe roughly 4 to 6 hours. That's what I usually get. If you're zooming, for some reason when I'm zooming on here, battery takes a hit like a fucker. I don't know what's going on. Like it just drains it so fast. Like every minute counts as a percentage, which is weird. Because when I was on my Zoom class, literally it was at like 90% and it went down almost to zero. I had to plug it in. It didn't last the whole class. I had to plug it in. So I'm not sure if I had something I need to change, or if I had something running in the background that I didn't realize. But yeah, battery life for the most part is okay as far as web browsing. Let me know if that's good. I don't know, because I feel like for just simple stuff it should last you a while, right? Like 10 plus hours. But I'm usually getting 4 to 6 hours with this. And in video editing gaming, you're gonna take an even bigger hit. So I would say you get maybe roughly an hour to 2 hours max if you're gonna be gaming or video editing on the battery life. So yeah, definitely not the greatest battery life, but that charging though is gonna top you up pretty fast if you're using the proprietary charger. And you can also use, again, USB-C to charge. So if you're not gonna be using it for a little bit, plug it in with a 45 watt charger, or if you have a 100 watt charger, use a 100 watt charger. But I use my 45 watt charger that I use for my phones from Samsung, and it takes roughly 2 hours to charge, maybe an hour and a half. But with the proprietary one, the 180 watt one, I believe is what the voltage is, will charge the laptop in like 45 to an hour. So pretty quick charging if you have that with you. But again, battery life is good. I don't know, good to me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that, and if it's something just unlucky with me, or if it's like good for a laptop of what you're doing, like this kind of stuff. And then performance, when it's plugged in, you're getting everything. You're getting what you paid for essentially here. So once you plug it in, you're gonna get super high performance. The refresh rate kicks in, high refresh rate. You can still play games at high settings, and then also be able to do a high refresh rate. You get like 80 to 70 to like 100 FPS depending on the game. So yeah, you're gonna get what you're paid for here. So gaming automatically gets so much better. So like I'm gonna be playing a game on my battery, and then I'm like, let's get this refresh rate going. So I plug it in. Instant difference, 100% instant difference. It's so much better, again, because of the refresh rate. But yeah, and then the tearing, I don't think I ever noticed any kind of tearing when I plugged in. So again, it might be something with the GPU or CPU, but yeah, all the issues that I had with gaming on the battery are all fixed when you're plugged in. So which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. And in video editing, same idea. Less hiccups, less delays. Occasionally they still happen, but it's much more rare than it is when it's on the battery. So video editing, again, plugged in, you'll be perfectly fine. And then of course, web browsing and stuff like that, no big deal at all. So yeah, overall performance day to day, absolutely phenomenal. I think it's really good as far as what you're paying for, because I looked at the different specs compared to other laptops, and I felt like this one was giving you more bang for the buck compared to other ones. Like a Razer Blade I was looking at, and for like the same specs that I got here, minus less storage or plus less storage, I guess you could say, you're paying way more. So yeah, that's why I went with this, because I wanted a dedicated graphics card and I wanted a big storage amount and 16 gigs of RAM and a decent CPU, and this has everything. That 1TB SSD, I don't think is the fastest SSD you can possibly get, but it's still pretty quick. It boots up and loads everything pretty fast. I think you can change one stick of RAM. One of them I think is like soldered on, I believe. So you should be able to easily swap one of those out. I'm not sure how this all works exactly. I'm not super familiar with all the computer stuff and laptop stuff, so please take it easy on me if you're out there. Like, help me out here. Let me know what you guys know. But yeah, overall, would I recommend this laptop? I have no idea. No, I'm kidding. For what I paid for it, I think it's a good buy. Now, again, the battery life is only negative here, but otherwise, you're getting a great performing laptop. It's absolutely amazing. Like, if you don't have a computer and you want something that you can also use at home and use an external monitor with it, this guy's got you. This guy's got you. This guy's got the performance. It's got pretty much a good keyboard. You got everything. You got everything here. I think for the price you're paying, you're getting a solid package here. But again, it's my first laptop, my only laptop I've ever owned. So maybe there's something better out there that I am not aware of. But yeah, from this, just me having this, I like it. I would definitely recommend it to someone else. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me some comments, some feedback on what you think of this laptop review, like just or the G14 in general, like if you are thinking about it. I know I'm not much of a, or don't know much about these laptops, and I don't know if I give you all the correct information if what you're looking for is something you want in this review. And I probably am not going to be making many more laptop reviews, just because I'm not going to be going out and buying a bunch of laptops, you know. But yeah, this is probably a one-time thing. We'll see how this video does. Again, leave me some feedback on what you thought of not only my review, but of the actual laptop itself. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.